name is Elijah Post. I've been a magician, drummer, and filmmaker for the better part of my life, and I'm about to take you on an epic 2-month adventure of a lifetime halfway across the world. It all began in May of 2019.
I'm going to Europe! After my 9.5-hour flight from Cancun, I now have a 7-hour layover here in Manchester, where I'm going to catch my connecting flight to Amsterdam, and I'm famished. I just arrived in Amsterdam, and these fine young gentlemen asked me for a cigarette. They offered to escort me to the Amsterdam Central train station, and they're already teaching me Dutch swear words. Those kids told me I didn't need a ticket for the train because it was a holiday, and then I asked some train employee, and he said I definitely need a ticket every time, because now I can't get out of the train station. Okay, so I snuck out of the train station behind somebody who had a ticket, and now I gotta figure out how to get to my hostel. So I went to the bus station, and they advised me to take a ferry across the river to my hostel. I could have just taken the lazy way out and taken a cab or something, but what's the fun in that? I accidentally got a free train ride, and the ferry across the river was free. So I haven't paid a dime yet, and I'm on my way to my hostel now. Oh, there it is. Sweet. I think I've been traveling for about 17 hours straight. I'm gonna take a shower. You know, I can think of worse places in the world than Amsterdam to sit back with a pint and just watch the world go by. All of the traffic here is very tightly commingled and feels like this complex dance of pedestrians, motorists, and bicycles. Tons and tons of bicycles. Some avenues are busy and full of traffic, while others are quiet and tranquil. I'm in the middle of the city right now. How peaceful.
Other travelers I've spoken with have told me that Amsterdam is a highly revisitable city. Revisitable? Is that a word? I filled the daytime of my 3-day visit just wandering around, playing giant chess in a plaza and getting my ass handed to me by this guy, soaking up the beauty of Vondel Park for hours, and relaxing next to one of the city's 165 river canals with a savory German pancake and an ice-cold Heineken. It's hard to mention Amsterdam these days without people conjuring up images and stories of its world-famous red light district. I spent my time there as many tourists do, walking the streets, patronizing a few local bars, making friends with tall men in high heels, drinking craft beer with new friends while doing card tricks, and passing by the local entertainment. My eventual inebriation led me to pizza, and I made my way back to my hostel via the ferry.
I have one more night here in Amsterdam, and as of about 20 minutes ago, I didn't know where I wanted to go next. Then I remembered that I brought this little piece of paper on which I wrote down a whole bunch of cool places I wanted to visit in Germany. I will also be activating the use of my Eurail Global Pass, which is a train ticket that allows me 15 different trips within a 2-month period throughout anywhere in Europe. It covers 31 countries and costs me $740. As of tomorrow, I will be heading to the little town of Bacharach, Germany, or as the French say, Bacharach. There was only one night available this week to book a bed in the hostel that I'm staying at in Bacharach, Germany. So in order to maximize my time there, I split the trip from Amsterdam into 2 days and stopped here in Düsseldorf, Germany for a night. While shopping for hotels, the adventurer in me took over and decided that it would be fun to book a room in the lowest rated hotel on TripAdvisor that's near the train station. And I gotta say, After reading those reviews, I'm thoroughly disappointed. I mean, there aren't even any cockroaches in here. It was really fun driving over here from the train station though. My taxi driver had this really luxurious Mercedes and he was driving like a bat out of hell. And now it's time to get some food. The guy at the front desk of my hotel said there was a restaurant just down the way, about 500 meters. Ain't no restaurant, bruh. Now I'm just wandering around this little town called Hilden, where my hotel is, looking for a bite to eat. This is what's fun about traveling because I don't really know where I'm going. All right, I guess it's pizza for dinner. Whatever. This pizza is actually really good. It's prosciutto and mushroom. It pairs wonderfully with my exotic flavored Fanta. I don't even know what flavor this is. Mango? So instead of spending 30 euros to take a cab back to the Dusseldorf train station, I found a way to take a train for 6 euros. The train system here in Europe is really great. While it's not the easiest to navigate, the people at the information desks are extremely helpful and they always speak English. Another cool thing I noticed about these train stations is that while you can get McDonald's, they also have real food here. Fresh baked goods and sandwiches, and they're pretty reasonably priced. Oh, and you can buy beer here too.
Comfortably nestled along Germany's castle-sprinkled Rhine River is the picturesque little town of Bacharach.
Bless you.
Due in large part to its importance as a transfer point for the wine and timber trades, it gained its town rights in 1356. Over the centuries, Bacharach and parts of the Rhine passed through many hands of power, and its history is replete with military occupations, religious pogroms, and medieval robber barons. Nowadays, with its half-timbered houses, cobblestone streets, and unparalleled scenic beauty, the town looks like it jumped off the page of a storybook. In addition to its obscene level of charm, what attracted me to the area was not so much the medieval history embedded here, but a particular feature standing atop a crag looming over the town.
Some American tourists informed me that one of the ways to get to my hostel is by climbing this big staircase. Have you ever heard a songbird like that? Now you might be asking yourself, what's in Bacharach and why would you want to stay there? Answer, because I booked a room that's in a hostel in a 12th century medieval castle, baby!
This is the Burg Stahleck, or Stahleck Castle. Originally constructed in the 12th century, it is presumed to have been a possession of the archbishops of Cologne and perhaps built as an outpost to guard the archbishopric. Although it too passed through many hands of power, the castle remained a key component in political, military, personal, and religious affairs over several centuries. It was besieged, conquered, and sacked a total of 8 times during the 30 Years' War, and after it sank into relative insignificance in the 15th and 16th centuries, the entire castle was blown up by French troops in 1689. Its reconstruction wasn't initiated until 1909, after the ruin had been transferred from the Prussian crown to the Rhinish Association for Landmark Preservation and Landscape Protection. In 1925, plans were finalized to rebuild the castle, and it officially reopened the next year as a youth hostel. It has operated as such for almost 100 years and hosts roughly 38,000 guests per year.
I get to sleep in a castle tonight. In order to get to my room, I have to navigate dark medieval hallways and musty medieval stairwells. It's medieval level awesome. This is so cool. I think I'm freaking out. I don't think I can take it. I think this is the coolest thing ever. I'm sleeping in a 12th century medieval castle in a gorgeous river valley in Germany. And now I'm going back down into town on a completely different route than the way I came up. I'm walking down these old cobblestone streets in this tiny little provincial German town. I half expect people to be like selling fresh bread and opening their windows to say good morning to me. This is like straight out of a scene from Beauty and the Beast. Little town. The manager at the hostel gave me a recommendation for a restaurant down in town. You know, town, where all the peasants live. But I can't read his handwriting or pronounce whatever the hell he said. It looks like I found my restaurant.
I sat down to dinner at the lovely Altkonischer Hof Hotel and Restaurant, where I promptly ordered a Grevensteiner Landbier, a light but full-bodied, creamy caramel-tasting beer served with herb aioli and fresh bread, and herb-crusted pike with a dill cream sauce and boiled potatoes.
This has got to be one of the greatest meals I've ever had. Simple, honest, straightforward, authentic cuisine. I wish I could communicate taste through film.
After a truly unforgettable day here, it was time for me to move toward my next destination.
Navigating the European train system is super fun. It's like a little puzzle you have to solve. You know, you got to figure out which train you need to catch to connect to a different city and where and what train number and when it's arriving. It's also fun because you get to hang out in these cool little podunk train stations in the middle of nowhere. Like Bingen, Germany? Where's Bingen, Germany? Anybody? I'm in Bingen, Germany, and I couldn't even point to it on a map. That guy just missed his train. He was on the train and he got off to smoke, and the train left without him. Oh no. Wow, this is a really nice train. I do have a first class ticket, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to be in these private cabins. But this one was empty, so whatever. What's the worst that can happen? I'll just claim that I'm a dumb American. Whoops, I didn't know. Sorry. But for now, I'm lounging.